I bet. Say that. But look, welcome back to another reaction video. This is 20 crazy GTA theories that might actually be true. Now, I am a huge GTA fan since San Andreas. I ain't really dabbling the other ones. San Andreas was my favorite, and then 5. And y'all know we're waiting for 6. So shit, with that being said, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And let's watch this, bro. We on.
GTA San Andreas homies and characters are based on real-life rappers. Now, it might seem obvious to some that Ryder was clearly based on West Coast rapper Eazy-E, despite being voiced by MC8, who's an entirely different real-life LA rapper. But what about the other characters in the game? Firstly, fans point out that CJ bears striking resemblance to a young Dr. Dre from NWA, while Sweet looks much closer to MC Ren. People like Big Smoke look a little bit closer to rappers like Mac 10, and characters like OG Loke could be references to Ja Rule, and Mad Dog, of course, being Snoop Dogg, hence the name. There's examples of other pedestrians possibly resembling other famous musical artists. It seems pretty convincing.
See, that's why this theory stuff is so crazy. Cause bro, I never thought about that right there. I'm not gonna lie. Look,
This is what Rockstar were going for, but they've never actually confirmed whether this is true or not. Theory number 2. Rampages are all taking place inside Trevor's mind. Aside from free roaming, being able to commit whatever crimes you wish, most of the missions and side missions follow some kind of logic when it comes to the crimes and lore. In terms of the actual storyline lore and on-screen kill count, all of Trevor's murders are within reason of realism. But what about the rampages? How can Trevor have these random bursts of violence where he shoots everyone around him, seemingly spawning in endless waves and coming at him from all angles? People like hipsters, rednecks, people that make fun of Trevor's accent.
Don't even say it like that.
There's a moose loose about the who's.
Fuck off, you Hoosier. Hey,
what's that about?
Fuck this!
Oh, Jesus.
It's a fake fucking accent.
Get out
You
of
can
here.
hardly
Come on,
tell.
Come on.
Maybe all of these are happening inside Trevor's head, and the events that unfold on screen are just the elaborate imagination that's inside Trevor's head. Not to be confused
I'm gonna be honest. Trevor was damn near just that dude, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He was just one of them. I think honestly, he might have like had the most confirmed kills. He killed a lot of people in his cutscenes. That is actually making more sense to me now that I'm actually talking about it and thinking about it. He's always smoking somebody in the cutscenes. And then he got the 2-for-1 with Brenda and Deborah. Not Deborah. Or Deborah and whatever the fuck his name was. I don't know.
with a hallucination, but more so just really lucid imagination. This does sound plausible when you consider that when the rampages occur, Trevor is having one of his different altered state of mind and the screen goes a different colour. Secondly, it's seemingly endless waves until the timer runs out, or shall we say, Trevor calms down. Thirdly, all of these rampages are triggered by something that annoys Trevor, which could trigger his wild
Everything annoys Trevor game. All that shit annoyed Trevor. He was just annoyed by everything. Ready to smoke some.
imagination and fantasies of what he wishes to do to those people. Last but not least, once the rampages have finished, the world just resumes how it was. No police arrive, no wanted level, and even the NPCs don't even seem like anything happened. Theory number 3, Michael's kids might not actually be Michael's kids. Did you know Amanda in GTA 5 was actually once a stripper called Crystal, and that Michael ended
Unsatisfied mother to have a body and mind of eyes with my eyes just wrapped up in themselves and notice. Spends half his time drinking by the pool, ignoring me. Well, I'm done. I'm looking for a fit up man. This is for prime. I love yoga. 43 Faki Mama 21. Goose grab grow. Body type bang and drinks destructively. Looking for anything goes. Her ass freaky.
Ended up falling in love with her, much to Trevor's humour. Except it's also revealed by Trevor
Yeah, her
himself
ass was getting
that
cracked
Amanda
by the
likely slept with all of Michael's associates
and the
and was
tennis guy.
severely ran through.
And the
What do you
yoga guy.
notice about Michael and Amanda?
Damn.
Well, firstly, they both have dark hair and traits that look nothing like Jimmy or Tracy DeSanta. This theory suggests that Michael's kids are in fact not Michael's kids,
Like
and
her
instead, this theory claims that it's
ruse.
Brad. And there are a few things that suggest this.
God, bro. Did you see the resemblance just now, gang?
Instead, this theory
Did you see
claims
the
that it's Brad.
resemblance now? I don't know if they're being like, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but like, that's a wild theory that looks like it makes sense. It just looks like it could be likely, you know?
And there are a few things that suggest this could be true. First of all is of course the hair colour being very similar to Brad's himself. Second of all is the fact that Amanda, as we said, was completely run through. She basically slept with everybody. Also, thanks to some dialogue in game, we know that Brad was severely
Yeah, her
disliked
ass
by
was and her
Trevor
cheeks
and Michael.
clapped, dog.
I mean, let's be honest. Brad was a dick, and things were getting out of control. You had to.
Brad was a dick, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was. Bless him.
So Brad definitely sounds like the kind of guy who would definitely be enough of a scumbag to do something like this behind Michael's back. While we're on the topic of Brad,
Oh, so they're saying that Brad was also cracking Michael's wife, gang? Dude, everybody was cracking the cheeks, bro. What is going on?
let's move on to our next theory, which just so happens to be about Brad himself. Was Brad actually worse than Trevor? While Trevor might be the nut job in full focus in GTA 5, Brad may have been far worse. And this theory actually has some merit to it. It suggests that Brad was in fact a complete scumbag, and that he was far worse, more unpredictable and heartless than Trevor. Firstly, in the North Yankton prologue, he can be heard mocking how he treated the civilians and hostages with disrespect, showing a lack of respect for not only women in particular, but also the fact that he treats hostages with such disgusting behaviour.
See that shit? Fucking put that bitch's face against the glass. Did you see that? Yeah, you're a real stout.
Check out how this app helped me buy whatever I want in my favorite games. Unlimited money makes it so you can get what you want.
See, but Michael low key let him know he was bogus for that though. Yeah, don't you feel like a real stallion? That's kind of like a you still a bitch, like you ain't really do nothing type of thing, you know? It's like
Michael and Trevor definitely don't sound like they like him. If during the prologue, for example, you are to whip out a gun and shoot one of the civilians or the hostages,
fail.
then Brad will have something pretty interesting to say. Take a listen.
If anyone's killing hostages, it's me.
So it sounds like Brad definitely was a piece of work. And even Trevor admits
Straight piece of
himself that
garbage,
if
bro.
it wasn't for
Yeah.
Brad being shot in North Yankton, he most likely would have done the job himself.
Brad was a bit of a dick. The dude who got killed? Yeah, I mean, would I have done it one day? Maybe. Probably. Probably likely. Wouldn't have done it in such an underhanded fashion, and the authorities wouldn't have been involved, but yeah, bit of a dick.
Our next
But,
theory
yeah, bit of a
questions the
dick.
true meaning behind Big Smoke being in CJ's house.
I seen this in another video and I always thought about that. What the fuck was he doing in the house already? He don't live there. He not like he cool, that's they homie, but like he not family. Why was he in the house? seemingly waiting on somebody. It seemed like he was waiting on somebody to pop in.
House at the very beginning of the game. Upon arriving at CJ's house, it's revealed that for some reason Big Smoke is inside the Johnson household, rather than attending Beverly Johnson's funeral. For some reason, CJ never questions this, but using some logic, this theory suggests that the true reason Big Smoke was at the house was
Because he was waiting on Sweet. He was waiting on Sweet to walk in so he could finish it. And then he and Ryder would take over Grove Street, and they would have their little alliance with the Ballers and Tenpenny, and they would all sell crack together. Saying.
because he was there waiting for Sweet to return home so that he could kill him. This is only made even more plausible when we then realize that yes, of course, Big Smoke was working with Tenpenny, who also knew everything about the death of CJ's mother.
And that makes sense how motherfucking Tenpenny knew everything about this and that, about what gang was doing this and that and whatever the fuck, bro. Oh my god, them dirty motherfuckers, gang. Them niggas so dirty, like that shit. That's like one of the original backdoors, I'm not gonna lie. Real
Well,
shit.
what happens at the beginning of
original
GTA
backdoors.
San Andreas? CJ is pulled over by Tenpenny and the police, probably because they knew CJ was on the way and they wanted to stall him from getting home until Big Smoke had the job finished. This next theory suggests that although Grove Street families wear green, they were originally supposed to wear orange and be called the Orange Grove families. One striking piece of evidence in this theory is CJ can get a tattoo with this gang name on him on his upper back, while beta screenshots show CJ wearing a black hoodie, and early artwork on the loading screen shows a lot of orange and black colours, but not much green, which is why a lot of people are confused by this. You can also find graffiti around Los Santos that says Orange Grove families. It's widely believed in the GTA community that this could very much
I knew
be
about the
an
orange. The orange always confused me though. I'm like, bro, who's? I always thought about who the nigga in the orange was. Like, yo, cause we do all this gang banging in Los Santos, this, that, and the third, and we never see orange niggas. So it's like, bro, I don't understand.
early beta name for the Grove Street families, and for some reason Rockstar Games forgot to remove the files from the game. Moving on to our next theory, this time tying in the world of Manhunt to Grand Theft Auto. This theory suggests that Donald Love could be behind Mr. Nasty. Mr. Nasty is the sadistic film director in Manhunt. In Manhunt, you play as James Earl Cash, a death row inmate who is secretly spared from execution and forced to participate in a brutal snuff film directed by a sadistic mastermind named Mr. Nasty. Donald Love is a wealthy media mogul and businessman in the GTA universe. He owns Love Media, media company that controls various radio stations and news outlets around the GTA universe, which is our first clue that he has ties to entertainment and media businesses. However, this character Donald Love has a very dark and mysterious side to him. He's also a cannibal who seems to have an unhealthy obsession with death.
My God, this is good. It tastes just like chicken, but somehow more, sentient. You want some?
I already ate, thanks.
In GTA 3, after giving Claude a series
I didn't know about that either. I didn't know about that. See, I didn't really fuck with 3 though. Or 4. San Andreas was the one. And then 5. And then it's like, yeah, shit, whatever.
of missions, he disappears mysteriously, never to be seen again in chronological order. We never saw Donald Love after this moment. Could Donald Love be the true identity of Mr. Nasty? And with his entertainment and media experience, did he form a snuff film project? Because Donald Love very much could have fled Liberty City and gone on to become Mr. Nasty. Our next theory poses the question Was Niko Bellic actually a horrific war criminal? Niko Bellic fought in the Yugoslav wars during the early to mid 1990s. While GTA 4 never explicitly names the war, several clues suggest that Niko was involved in the Bosnian War from 1992 to 1995. Niko hints at war crimes he either witnessed or committed as a soldier, showing signs of PTSD and deep trauma. In one of Niko's darkest flashbacks, he reveals some of the most horrific crimes he saw during the war, leading many to believe that this actually might not be Niko recalling what he saw others doing, but instead is something that Niko himself is guilty of.
After you walk into a village and you see 50 children all sitting neatly in a row against the church wall, each with their throats cut and their hands chopped off, you realize that the creature that could do this doesn't have a soul.
Regardless of whether you agree with this or not, Niko Bellic has admitted to smuggling and selling people, essentially admitting he was a human trafficker, one of the worst types of crimes you can get. This theory suggests that when playing as Michael or Trevor, the police are less likely to aggro onto the player and arrest or shoot them, opposed to when the player is playing as Franklin, reflecting the real-world issues and claims of police brutality evident in society. Or is this just simply a case of perception bias from AI behaviour or players? In any case, this theory doesn't seem to hold that much merit, given the police in GTA 5 will literally arrest you for just standing near them. But many players have claimed that while playing as Franklin, the police mysteriously seem to treat them a lot worse than if they were playing as Michael or Trevor. This next theory suggests that there are some
I didn't know that either. That's fucked. Not gonna lie. That's fucked up. It's actually fucked.
some extremely rare copies of GTA San Andreas, of which only 1,000 copies were printed by Rockstar Games. Now you may be wondering what's so special about these 1,000 copies of San Andreas. This theory suggests that out of the 17 million total copies GTA San Andreas sold, as few as 1,000 of these copies have a unique special code planted in them that will allow the player to encounter a secret Bigfoot mystery. When asked if there was something in the woods, Rockstar Games themselves once upon a time even said there is something out there. And when another developer was asked if there was any Easter eggs or mysteries the player
I had the chance for a brief Q&A session with Craig Filshi, who was the lead level designer of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so we used the opportunity to ask about some strange rumors that we've been calculating. I have been circulating about the
asked if there was any Easter eggs or mysteries the players had still not discovered, they answered simply yes. This next theory is that Niko Bellic is dead or missing following the events of GTA 4. During one of the heists in GTA 5, Lester Crest can be heard clearly referencing Niko Bellic as a potential heist crew member.
Crew from the south, they all went down. There was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
It was discovered that in actual fact, the voice actor for Niko Bellic, Michael Holick, fell out with Rockstar Games over how much they paid him while working on GTA 4. In some derelict spots in GTA 5, you can find wanted posters for Niko, with no elaboration besides teasing us he may have gone missing and still be out there somewhere. Given that Rockstar at one point did fall out with his voice actor, it is entirely possible they did plan to have him killed off in the universe, as they've never shied away from this in the past with actors they've fallen out with. Just look at Avery Carrington for one example. Moving on to our next theory, and that is that Trevor murdered Wade's friends. Wade Herbert and Ron Jakowski are two of Trevor's closest associates in GTA 5, both blindly following his every command. However, Wade's loyalty may not be as innocent as it seems. It might be the result of a carefully orchestrated tragedy. In the game's lore, Wade originally met Trevor alongside his fellow juggler.
He smoked them for sure. 100%. But I wish they show what happened in there, bro. That's my thing. Is I want to see what the fuck went down. That there was so much blood all over the place. Trevor walked out the way he did. Feel me? Like what went down in that room, bro? We need that. We need a cussing. We need it. I had seen another video where they had like found a way to like basically no clip and like look inside during the cutscene and you can like see their bodies, but like you don't necessarily know what happened in there still. That's fucked because I want to know, bro. Like, I want to know.
Fellow friends, Dirk and Ant, who were his closest companions in Sandy Shores. However, after Trevor takes Wade under his wing, Wade mentions that he hasn't heard from them for a while.
Hey, you remember when we met?
Sure. Last year, I was on the way to the gathering with Daisy Bell and Kush Chronic
And you stopped in Sandy Shores to get lit, and you met a dealer, and he looked after you when your friends had abandoned you.
That was weird, wasn't it? The last time I saw them, it was with you, driving out to the quarry, and then they just disappeared.
Poof, right? I mean, they were gone. Some friends, right? And now...
Trevor, being ruthless and calculating, likely saw how gullible Wade was, saw him as a tool.
You make him go through shit in that mission. He's covered in shit. I forgot what the actual mission is, but it's fucking disgusting.
All he could exploit. And the way in which Trevor talks here definitely suggests that there's some sarcasm or trace to cover something up. Trevor went to the quarry with Wade's friends, but they never made it back. This next theory suggests that CJ does in fact exist in the HD universe, but he's either dead or poor now, and that's the reason why Grove Street was taken over.
R.I.P. Tony. R.I.P. Claude. R.I.P. Carl. Never forget you. Miss you, everyone. Everyone miss you. Whatever the fuck. Always remember you, bro.
And I know, you don't have to tell me the 3D and the HD universes are separated, and that Rockstar Games have already discussed this in the past. But that doesn't mean that CJ as a parallel version of himself existed in the HD universe. So, although the 3D and HD universes are separate, that doesn't mean that CJ didn't exist in the HD universe.
What doesn't make sense about them being separate though is that both the gang exists in both worlds. So it's like, how are they separate? Why wouldn't have another gang moved in there or something? Like like a whole other separate entity of niggas, like a whole other faction, whatever the fuck. So why would Grove Street families still exist in that universe if they're not at least like a little bit, you know?
Universe history. However, that doesn't explain why Grove Street, of all places that would be so important to CJ and the Grove Street families, is now under control of the Ballers. This Life Invader post suggests that Grove is now under control of the Ballers. This
Ball till you turn purple. When we hit, we don't miss. Let's go fuel. We getting that green tonight. We family. Ballers killers. The original shot callers. What was that pitch? I've seen better curves on the anorexic chick. Go feud. It's a green world. The fuck? Raz couldn't catch a cold. Someone coughed in his face. Yeah, less ballers in the house. Your house. Thanks again for giving us Grove Street, bitches.
Life Invader post suggests that Grove Street did actually belong to the Grove Street families once upon a time.
I'm not gonna lie. Fuck ballers. Nigga. We ballers kid. I'm not gonna lie. Since legit. No, I'm gonna die that way. Not gonna lie.
Time, further confirming that the history of San Andreas did exist in the GTA 5 universe. But our most damning piece of evidence that something bad might have happened to CJ is the way in which Franklin reacts to Jimmy when he mentions about Grove Street families.
No, man, we just two dudes hanging out.
Check this out. I'm gonna show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, 100.
Seriously, dog. Families for life.
Hey, man, you really don't want people hear you saying that.
Let's hit up Davies, man. I'll shout it from the rooftops.
Man, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out to save you from yourself, homie.
Our next theory suggests that in option C, Death Wish, at the end of the game, that would have resulted
Is that an I ain't beat the game in so long, bro. I don't remember. I ain't never seen that before. I don't remember that being there. I'm not gonna lie. But is that like an option where Franklin like unalives himself? Like, what is that?
resulted in Franklin being killed while trying to save Trevor and Michael, hence the name of the mission Death Wish. But then that Lamar would then become the third playable character in Franklin's place. However, due to legal issues at the time with Lamar's voice actor Slink Johnson, this idea was cancelled. You might think that this is total made up BS, and I also thought the same. That was until I discovered that Slink Johnson, the voice actor for Lamar, did a Reddit AMA Ask Me Anything. Johnson.
Okay, y'all, I'm about to close it off. Support you guys are truly amazing. A million thanks. Thanks to yeah, Lamar Davis fans. Keep gaming. Watch Black Jesus on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. ET. Tweet about it, Instagram, man. Post about it on Facebook. Tell your friends. Don't forget the hashtag on behalf of myself and Black Jesus. To the Facebook and Instagram, St. John's, BK Black Jesus, aka Lamar Davis, Marcus Always in Los Angeles, Inglewood, California. The cloud on my life about first for ratings and the same must be anything.
The voice actor for Lamar did a Reddit AMA Ask Me Anything 11 years ago, shortly after the release of GTA 5. And in this AMA, a fan asked him about this theory, of which Slink Johnson replied, pretty much confirming that
Is it true my plan to be a playable character when choosing the spoiler ending C? From a key with 1,000 ways, originally there was going to be a different story with Lamar being deeper involved. However, I caught a case in real life that had me tied up for a few months, and Rockstar had to move on, so the story became the one you see on GTA V. However, I actually Rockstar Games for sticking with me through such a rough time. It allowed me to continue my roles tomorrow once I was available to work. Okay.
That the ending of GTA 5 was going to be totally different.
Damn, so mad, bro. Oh my god. We would have had more gangbanging missions. If Franklin would have died and Lamar would have been became the third, that would have opened us up to a whole different world of gangbanging. Because that was Lamar's shit. Feel me? This shit was fire. Fuck Lamar. It was gangsta.
And Lamar having a much deeper role. Our next theory may confuse you a little bit, so you're going to want to pay attention, because you're going to swear that if you played GTA San Andreas in your childhood, that you've seen a shark. But I'm pretty much going to doubt that. I'm going to go ahead and say you probably haven't seen a shark in GTA San Andreas. And here's the reason why I say that. You may have seen dolphins, turtles, or even fish in GTA San Andreas, and your brain may swear to you that you've seen a shark. I encourage you now to go looking for them. The odds are that you probably won't find them. I say probably because sharks do exist in GTA San Andreas in the game files, but barely anyone has any proof that they actually spawn in game. Now, this may sound really confusing, but many myth hunters have spent hours upon hours searching for sharks in GTA San Andreas, and they've never actually come across one. It turns out that GTA San Andreas does have sharks in the game files, but they don't actually seem to spawn anywhere on the map. You may think I'm crazy, but the GTA wiki even claims sharks are a myth, so if you want the answer whether sharks actually exist in the game or not, you have to go looking yourself. Our next theory suggests that Trevor imagined the return of his mother. One of the saddest moments.
I seen one of these theories though, that his mother was actually dead, and when he talks to her in these cutscenes, that she's a figment of his imagination. That shit fucks me up when they said that shit. I said, damn.
In GTA 5 was when Trevor's mother shows up again in his trailer after decades of not seeing him. Trevor is shocked and immediately breaks down into tears after seeing her.
There, it's okay, son. Oh, that's enough! Here I am!
However, this theory suggests that maybe he actually killed her, as he dresses up in her dresses, mimicking her because of his trauma. Shortly after this mission is completed, Trevor returns to his trailer only to find his mother.
That theory is different than the one that I heard. That is interesting. Damn, that he killed her though is crazy. She did just knee him in his chin. Crazy as hell.
Mother has disappeared without a trace, abandoning him once again.
50% of the US is using an adblock already. With Pi Adblock, visit your favorite websites and watch.
I got the meds, Mom! Mom! I got the meds! Mom! Mom! No, Mother!
Given that Trevor takes drugs, it could be that his mind was in an altered state during this interaction. Moving on to our next theory, this theory suggests that there is a cannibal ring undercover in the GTA universe, and one of these Easter eggs is in GTA Vice City, where a cafe called Romero Butchery can be seen with questionable meat in the window, ranging from a human brain, an arm, and a box of organs. The Romero business also runs a funeral home down the road, which sports the slogan, "We really dig graves," as well as an open grave behind the building that can be found dug up with a skeleton inside, suggesting some kind of organ harvesting or cannibal ring could be going on. This only gets more interesting when we find out that the Romero family are partnered with a
That shit said you can't beat our meat. That is hilarious, bro. The slogans they be using, bro. That shit's funny.
another distribution company called RS and Elbows, whose vans can be seen driving around the map carrying meat packages. Well, this RS and Elbows was also the name of the company who owned a factory in GTA 2, where the player turned civilians into hot dogs and served them as food. Not to mention that Donald Love, we mentioned earlier, is also seen in a mission in Liberty City Stories eating a human ribcage. Moving on to our next theory, this one suggests that Lester Crest may actually be someone that we know from a previous Grand Theft Auto game.
Zero. Wasn't that his name? Fucking Zero from San Andreas. They sound the same now that I'm thinking about that shit.
Yes, we know this theory might be a stretch, and yes, that's why this video is titled Theories. This theory suggests that Lester Crest could actually be Zero from GTA San Andreas. Firstly, the two share similarities such as having similar mannerisms, having similar hobbies like collecting model vehicles, and Lester definitely could pass off as an older version of Zero way past his prime. But this theory goes even deeper, and this one, in my opinion, makes a lot more sense. Maybe Lester isn't actually Zero, and maybe in fact he's Zero's arch enemy, Berkeley. Do you remember Berkeley? Berkeley was the Zero's arch enemy in GTA San Andreas, who is responsible for giving us all of these goddamn horrible missions where we had to destroy stuff with remote control vehicles, and Berkeley is the guy who was attacking.
Those were like the earliest I remember actually being like fucking so mad at a fucking video game that I was like, yo, I'm gonna break this shit. I'm gonna fucking break it, bro. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Fuck this game. Those missions were, but then once you figured out how to do that shit a couple times, that shit became like work. You feel me? But it used to piss me off.
Zero with the remote control planes, and also the guy who we had to play against during this helicopter tank minigame thing, which also really sucked. And I don't want to just jump to conclusions here, but this definitely seems like a Lester kind of thing to do. You know, get an arch enemy in the remote control vehicle universe where you fight against each other and you compete with each other as who's better at what. And yeah, it just seems like something that Lester Crest would definitely do. And this theory coming up next is probably one of the most popular, controversial theories in the entire Grand Theft Auto community. Was Ryder actually...
I didn't trust Ryder because he was a Sherm head. I didn't know that he was a fucking traitor too. But my thing was, the nigga's a Sherm head. You can't trust that nigga, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You cannot trust dude. Like, it just don't make sense. You'll be a fucking dumbass to trust this man. Walks around smoking wet sticks all day, gang. You want to be with that nigga? You want to trust him?
A good guy. Well, this theory suggests that Ryder, despite betraying Grove Street, was always meant to be a good guy, and that instead Rockstar Games changed their minds late into development. Early in the game, Big Smoke is seen at CJ's house, waiting to kill Sweet. However, Ryder is present at the funeral of Beverly Johnson, something that a homie that had betrayed you probably wouldn't do. Our second clue is that in Green Saber, Ryder is not mentioned at all, but CJ seems to mention Big Smoke several times. Despite Ryder being right there in the cutscene, CJ doesn't acknowledge his presence or the fact that he's backstabbed him or betrayed him.
Oh, no. Shit, Smoke, what you into? That's it. Look at that ride. It's Smoke, and he in deep with Tenpenny and some ballers. He sold us out. Fucking Smoke.
Big Smoke is mentioned plenty of times throughout the game as a snake, a betrayer, so on and so forth, but Ryder is not mentioned at all. The only time we hear about Ryder for the next time is during Photo Opportunity, and then finally in PS69 where CJ confronts him. It also suggests that Ryder probably was planned to die at some point in the game, possibly during the mission House Party with OG Loke, where Ryder would die quite honourably while defending Grove Street. Well, if you are one of the people who believes this theory, or at least feels like the Ryder betrayal was a little bit unusual, I want to recommend this video here. I've made a complete...
I don't understand Ryder's betrayal because that was some bitch ass shit to do. I'm not gonna lie, gang. It was just some bitch ass shit to do. You was working with the police, you was working with the Vagos, you was working with the ballers to undermine yo homies, yo day one niggas, gang. That's dirty. That's dirty as fuck. That's why I don't understand that shit. He was a bitch. Fuck that nigga. Y'all like, comment, sub, turn on post notice, do all the YouTube stuff. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Video about it. And you definitely want to click it because unfortunately we've reached the end of today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying till the end of the video here. If you have, please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you guys in maybe another video.